Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid X-Line Prestige. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This Sportage is finished off in Fusion Black. They have an MSRP that starts just over at $44,000. And powering this plug-in hybrid is the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's paired to that hybrid system along with a 6-speed automatic, and combined it pumps out 261 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,200 pound SUV from 0 to 60 in just under 7 seconds. It has a top speed of 115 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 11.1 gallons. You'll expect to see around 36 miles per gallon in the city, 35 out on the highway. This also has a total range of 34 miles on just the EV system alone. The wheelbase for this Sportage is 108.5 inches. It has an overall length of 183.5. Its width is 73.4, height is 66.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.3 inches. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, there have been a few subtle updates for this latest generation. We'll start off with the LED headlight design, along with the DRL strip that is very large. Turn signals are the 3 strips in the upper section, and then headlights and high beams are in the lower section. Definitely gives it a very distinctive look. There's also a really nice brushed accent that runs right through the grille. Kia badge has been out like that for several years. There's a nice grille underneath that with plenty of cutouts, and there's also a sensor in the lower section for the distance pacing, along with fog lights and parking sensors as well. And then in the far corners, there's small trim accents that are functional to provide better airflow and aerodynamics. And then there's really subtle lines coming down both sides of the hood. It's relatively flat in the middle there. And then as we work our way to the side, has a really nice set of two-tone wheels with the new Kia badge for that center cap there. There's also plastic for the fender arches. It's in the lower side skirt. It's in the lower section of that front bumper too. And then there's the body colored side mirrors with the camera and the turn signal. Full moonroof up top, along with the roof racks. All the window trim is blacked out as well, just to match nicely. And there's some very subtle lines that run down the side. And then in back, there's the body colored spoiler with the integrated third brake light. The wiper blade is tucked up underneath, so that way it gives it a nice clean appearance from the back. Now there's also LED taillights, the Kia badge in the middle, backup camera, and then in the lower section, there's more of that same trim accent that was in the front grille there. Now for this Kia Sportage, along with a lot of the newer Kia models, we do have the Smart Park Assistance. So there is remote start on the key fob, and then you can use the forward button or the rear button there to move the vehicle forwards and backwards. I've showed that in previous Kia videos. It's a really neat feature to have. And then you can also use the key fob to open up the power liftgate or use the button up underneath. And with the relatively smaller size that this SUV is, there's actually a good bit of space located in the back. You'll notice there is a 12 volt. There's also some hooks here, so you can place in a cover as needed. And then underneath the floor, there is a little bit of storage. You could actually remove that entire piece if you wanted to place some larger items. And of course, you can fold down the back seats. You can actually do that from back here. So just pull on these tabs and both of them will fold flat, giving you that much more interior space. So again, for its size, it is very practical if you're not looking for a big SUV. And then as we work our way to the back seats, the interior for this model has a really nice two-tone design. You'll notice a really neat look for this release handle as well, with the trim accents surrounding it. Harman Kardon is the audio system for this. There's also a little bit of storage down below. And then as you can tell, I have both of these seats in a different orientation. So they recline very far, or you can have them in that straight up position. But at 5'10", I have plenty of space. There's also storage pockets. There's even USB-Cs on both seats there, so you can charge electronics. There's climates in the middle, a little bit of storage. And then at my height, I have plenty of headroom here. Now, if I bring the seat all the way up, I still have a good bit. So it's really nice in how versatile it can be in the back. You'll notice too, there's also an area behind this headrest where maybe you could place a strap for a bag and have some items held up in the back, which is nice. Right in the middle, there's the armrest with 2 cup holders, and then a good bit of visibility for its smaller size. It doesn't feel too claustrophobic, which is of course great. And then there's the button to lock and unlock the vehicle. And then the front door panel has some memory seating adjustments. There's also the window controls, a little bit more storage down below. And then the front seats are power operating with a great design to them. Now, as we hop in and start this up, you won't actually hear it because it does default to the EV setting. But we'll move on to the gauge cluster now, where you can go through some of this information using controls on the right side of the steering wheel. So you'll notice there's the steering assist along with distance pacing, you have cruise control settings, and then you have this pages icon to go through the gauge cluster. So for the current configuration, miles per hour is on the left side, and then on the right side you have charge, eco, and your power. And then if I use that pages button, along with the arrows, we can scroll through all of this information that's presented right in the middle. So you have quite a lot that you can go through, including your compass, you have where the power is being sent, TPMS, and this model also has the camera system when you put on your turn signal. So that way when you're merging onto the highway or just in general, you can see curbs on sides and it just gives you a lot more visibility, which is a really cool feature I think a lot more vehicles should have. Now on this left side, you have Bluetooth along with favorites. There's also tuning and volume, and this even has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters on the back side. Now over on the left, you'll notice there's the liftgate release along with the gas cap release, traction control, dimmer switches, e-brake, really cool wood trim accents that surround this interior as well. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, this is a very large screen. There's also shortcuts over on this left side to get into all this information. So you have a home screen with a calm setting, or you can get back into all these icons where you can go into that EV system, monitor all of that. You have a quiet mode, your phone projection, so you can pair your phone to the system, and you can even get into your climates as well, so you can go through all of this information. So it's a pretty easy system to use to be able to go through that. Now there's air vents underneath that, more of the wood trim. There's volume and power for your audio, and then this is actually another LCD screen. So you can get into your climate adjustments, and if you push on the upper section there, now you have all of these controls for that upper screen. So you can pull up your map, your navigation, you can get into setup there, and then when you're ready, go back to all your climates, and you can quickly go through those. Really neat combination. Now if I open up this lid, there's a few auxiliaries in the back along with wireless charging, and then here are all the controls for your heated and ventilated seats along with the heated steering wheel. Now in order to put this into gear, we just twist this all the way to the right for drive, to the left for reverse, where there's the backup camera along with that top-down view, and then you do have a few other angles that you can get into as well, including that 360 view that you can swipe around, which is of course very helpful. If I put this into drive, now we have the forward-facing angles that we can go through and monitor as needed. Park is going to be right in the middle of that circle. Now behind that, there's a downhill assist control along with the auto hold. There's the parking sensors, a shortcut to that camera system, so you can pull that up as needed. You can also press and hold this to activate the parking assist system. So this does have parallel parking that you can go into and activate. Right in the middle, you'll notice there's the center locking differential, and then a few different driving modes. You'll notice those pop up on the gauge cluster, where there's eco along with sport, a smart mode, which is basically going to adapt for you, and then a snow mode as well. And then behind that, there's the control to go into full EV. Now there's a little bit of storage behind that, along with 2 cup holders. Now if you don't need to use this for cups, you can see that there's no surround for them. Just push on both of these buttons though, and now you can retract those cup holders. So very versatile for that. A little bit of storage in the center armrest there, and then plenty in the glove box. Up top, there's the rear view mirror, and then you have some dome lights as well as the controls for that full sunshade and the sunroof as well. And then here's a look at visibility over both shoulders. Very easy to see for the smaller size that this is. You definitely have plenty of visibility. As we set off now behind the wheel for this Kia Sportage, it's been a while since I've been behind the wheel of this smaller size SUV, but this is really neat, and especially for the price point, this is the fully loaded Sportage that you can get with the X-Line package, as well as this being the plug-in hybrid. So if you're looking for a vehicle like this, something that's going to be pretty fuel efficient, this is a great option to go with, especially for the price and being a brand new vehicle. Now, if you're new to the channel, I own an X5 plug-in hybrid, so identical to this as far as the powertrain being the plug-in hybrid. And I think it's a really nice vehicle and system to have for the BMW, so it's going to be identical to this as far as your MPG goes and just what you can do. Now, this vehicle does have a charger for it, and with my X5, I just use a normal 3-prong outlet. I can plug it in around 8, 9 p.m. It'll be fully charged by the time I'm ready to go in the morning. So it's a vehicle that you don't have to get a fast charger for. You don't have to do all of that in order to charge this vehicle, which is nice because you don't want to buy a brand new vehicle and then go out and spend thousands to get a charger. So you can charge this overnight with that standard outlet, and this will also recharge as you are driving it. So you can use the engine and the braking system to help recharge it while driving, or you can just go to the full EV system if you're just driving around town, things like that. So I think it's a really good combination, and it gives you a lot of power too. So let's put it into sport mode, and we'll give it an acceleration here. Not bad. It's not the quickest vehicle by any means, but we definitely have enough to get up and move here. And so now that we're behind the wheel, it's driving like you would expect a Kia to drive. Very well refined for its pricing too. So I like how quiet it is, how smooth it's driving. It's just a nice overall smaller compact SUV. And if you're new to the Kia world, Kia and Hyundai have definitely stepped up their game in the last several years. So if you're looking for a really nice vehicle, again, fully loaded, there's really no options with Kia models either. You basically buy the package that you want, and it has everything in that package. So there's no standalone options, basically. You just buy the package that best suits you. And so with it still in sport mode, we can shift to the paddle shifters now, and we'll give it a small acceleration. And it definitely gets up and moves for what I'm doing today. And here's what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Kia Sportage. Now, if you're also new to our channel, we have a lot of seat time behind the wheel of the Kia Telluride. We have had a few of those as press vehicles, so it feels very similar to that, just a little bit smaller, but all the technology is relatively the same. So again, you're getting a really nice vehicle for the price, and a lot of standard safety features that you see on vehicles that cost a lot more than this. So we have all the pedestrian detection, the lane keeping, the lane cross assistance, all of that is standard on these vehicles, which is nice to see. And so this would make for a great daily driver because it gives you all of those amenities, all of those creature comforts, and a really smooth ride. It's also very practical too. So for its sizing, if you live in the city, you have the parallel parking even to help you. It's a very manageable and maneuverable vehicle. As far as its turning radius goes with a full lock too, this is pretty tight. So again, parking lot situations, things like that, it's not intimidating to drive because of its size. But Kia did a really good job as well with its overall interior space with its compact size. And that is going to wrap it up for the 2025 Kia Sportage. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.